In this video, I'm going to walk you through my evidence-based sleep routine that helped me recover from insomnia and go from 4 hours of sleep to 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Sleep is your superpower. It's responsible for everything from your physical recovery, to your cognitive sharpness, to your emotional resilience, and even your ability to make high-stakes decisions. Yet, many of us don't give it the respect that it deserves. So, my goal with this video is that you leave with a comprehensive understanding of what actually creates great sleep. I'll walk you through the 3 categories of evidence-based sleep optimization, and at the end, I'll share some tips for those nights where you just can't fall asleep or you really struggle to stay asleep. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the foundation, your circadian rhythm. This is your body's internal clock that regulates sleep and wake cycles over roughly a 24-hour period. Your circadian rhythm is driven by the hypothalamus in the brain and is influenced by external cues called Zeitgebers. The most important of which of those is light. When you're exposed to light in the morning, your brain is going to suppress melatonin, which is a hormone that makes you sleepy, and it's going to boost cortisol to help you feel alert. But it's not just about light. Your circadian rhythm also controls your core body temperature. And here's why that matters for sleep. To fall asleep, your core body temperature needs to drop by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And according to research published in the Sleep Medicine Reviews, this drop signals your body that it's time to go to sleep. So we need that drop in core body temperature. And if your environment or your habits interfere with that natural cooling process, like eating late at night or sleeping in a warm room, then you're gonna struggle to fall asleep and you're gonna struggle to stay asleep. And sleep isn't just a single state, right? It's a dynamic process in which we go through these various stages, and each of those stages serves a unique function to your health and to your performance, right? So the first stage of sleep is light sleep, and this is really stage 1 and 2. Light sleep helps your body transition from a state of wakefulness into those deeper stages. It can't happen super rapidly. We need to go through these kind of warming up stages to get to that point. And it's essential for regulating your heart rate, for regulating your breathing, and even for muscle relaxation. The third stage of sleep is deep sleep or slow wave deep sleep. And this is when your body undergoes physical restoration. So growth hormone is produced. It's going to help you repair tissues, build muscle, and strengthen your immune system. And according to a study in the Journal of Physiological Anthropology, deep sleep is critical for maintaining physical health and metabolic function. The last stage of sleep is REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep. And this is when your brain consolidates memories and processes emotions. Research from the Journal of Neuroscience suggests that sleep in REM sleep specifically enhances cognitive problem solving and emotional regulation. Now, each of those states of sleep is vital. And if you're not cycling through them properly, then you're missing out on the full benefits of sleep. So how do we optimize getting into these stages of sleep and utilizing them for maximum energy, for cognitive performance, for performance in your physicality or whatever you're trying to do? We need to have these stages of sleep optimized. And that's where the 3 categories of sleep optimization come in. Okay? Category number 1 is your daytime routine. Great sleep begins long before your head hits the pillow. And what you do during the day sets the groundwork for a restorative sleep at night. Your daytime activities directly impact your circadian rhythm, your hormone production, and your sleep drive. Now, one of the very important pieces of that is your sleep drive. Your sleep drive is a chemical process that's driven by a chemical called adenosine. Adenosine builds up in the brain and makes you sleepy. This is actually what caffeine blocks, right? So caffeine blocks adenosine from binding to those receptors, and so it makes you feel awake. But really what caffeine is doing is delaying sleepiness, because once those adenosine receptors become unbound because caffeine leaves, adenosine comes back in and makes you feel sleepy again, okay? So when we don't have that adenosine buildup appropriately, then we're going to struggle to fall asleep. There was even a study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep that found that caffeine consumed even 6 hours before bedtime can significantly reduce sleep quality. Now, some people will actually still be able to fall asleep when they have caffeine close to bedtime, but they will get less REM sleep and they will get less deep sleep. So it's going to be less restorative sleep for them. So stop caffeine intake by mid-afternoon and allow your body to fully metabolize it, okay? The second piece of this is exercise timing. And exercise timing really does matter. Physical activity, 100% during the day, enhances your sleep quality. The problem is when we don't have our exercise or our physical activity at the right time of day, okay? And especially if it's high-intensity training. So if you do high-intensity training close to bedtime, it's gonna elevate cortisol and it's gonna elevate your body temperature. So we want to make sure that we don't do those 2 things, because those are going to prevent us from falling asleep and getting into a deep sleep. So you're going to want to aim your workout to be in the morning or early afternoon, or if you're going to be working out late at night, just make sure it's not something super, super intense, okay? The last piece of this is daylight exposure. Okay? Morning sunlight, we know, helps you anchor your circadian rhythm. Studies from several journals show that consistent exposure to natural light, especially early in the morning, have a really strong impact on our ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. And this is why getting morning sunlight is a big deal for sleep optimization, and it's something that should not be overlooked. I have my clients go for a walk in the sun in the morning, and it definitely helps them. Okay, so that is talking about daytime activities. What about right before leading to bed, though? Category 2 is your pre-sleep routine. Our evening activities and what you're doing as it leads up to sleep time make a very big difference for the quality of sleep that we get and our ability to actually get into a deep sleep as well. The goal is to prepare your mind and your body for a transition from a wakefulness state to a restful state. And the pre-sleep period is when your body starts producing melatonin and reducing cortisol, right? So those two hormones are opposite of each other. When you have high melatonin, then you feel sleepy and you're gonna have low cortisol, and the opposite, you're gonna feel awake. And so when nighttime comes, our cortisol production should drop and our melatonin production should rise, and that's what's gonna help us fall and stay asleep. If you are stimulating your brain, though, you're gonna be disrupting this process. So, your body's not gonna be able to recognize that it's the right time to go to sleep because we're, if our artificial lights are doing things we shouldn't be doing at that time of day during really a wind down portion of our day. And we really can't go much further without talking about blue light, okay? Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin twice as much as other types of light, okay? And this has been shown in several studies as well. A study in sleep health revealed that individuals who use screens emitting blue lights even 2 hours before bed experienced a 16% reduction in total sleep time compared to those who did not have screens and avoided them altogether. Blue light before bed also increased the time that it took to fall asleep by 58 minutes. It took people an hour longer to fall asleep if they were exposed to blue light leading up to bed. It also reduced their REM sleep duration by 22%. So they were getting less sleep. It wasn't as restorative. It's really all bad news when it comes to blue light exposure, getting close time to bedtime. You don't necessarily need to get rid of all screens, though. You can get some blue light blocking glasses, and that will help in reducing the negative side effects of being exposed to blue light. In a study in chronobiology, participants reduced sleep onset time by 30% just by using blue light glasses. They fell asleep 30% faster just by putting on blue light blockers, okay? I start with blue light blockers just because it's one of the easiest things to implement. You can really keep doing most of your activities, if you implement blue light blocking glasses, it's gonna help a lot. That said, your activities leading up to bedtime do matter too. And for one, we do not want to be eating within a few hours of going to sleep. We know that this disrupts sleep because there's increased energy need to break down food and a rise in core body temperature from something called diet-induced thermogenesis. This is basically where your body produces heat from digestion. And we need that core body temperature drop to fall asleep, right? So this is why I really like the 3-2-1 rule, which is stop eating 3 hours before bed, use blue light blocking glasses 2 hours before bed, and then stop drinking water 1 hour before bed, the 3-2-1 rule. And the water is really so that you don't get up and pee during the middle of the night. You also may want to do down regulation activities like reading, meditation, box breathing. Personally, I love box breathing, but any of those things that help you relax personally can really help get you into that down-regulated state that helps you fall asleep more quickly. So those are your pre-sleep routine activities and things to do. Category 3 is optimizing your sleep environment. So your bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep and sex, nothing else. Our bodies naturally associate places with certain physiological function. So, for example, if you're sitting at your desk, you're going to be in a heightened state because you are going to need the cortisol production to focus. But we don't want that cortisol production to be happening when we're laying in bed, right? And this is also why you shouldn't do things like eat at your desk, right? Because we need to be in a relaxed state while eating so that we can digest our food properly, right? That's a story for a whole other day. In our bedroom, though, we want our body to associate the bedroom with sleep, not wakefulness activities like scrolling on our phone or reading or watching TV, right? We also know that environmental factors like temperature, light, and noise influence our body's ability to reach and maintain deep, slow-wave deep sleep and REM sleep. The optimal temperature is 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit for the temperature of your bedroom, okay? And that's been shown in studies in Frontiers in Neuroscience and several other places. The room should also be as dark as possible, so if you're not using blackout curtains, go get them or get a sleep mask, but either way, we need it to be completely blackout. And there should be either no noise or some noise that's consistent, like a fan or a white noise machine. Now, no matter how optimized your routine is, sleepless nights can still happen. And when they do, here's what to do. Number one, do not stay in bed. If you're lying awake and you're gonna be creating a negative association with your bed, right? If you're just lying there awake staring at the ceiling. I know because I've been there for a long time where you just feel like you stare at the empty ceiling for 8 hours straight. It's not a fun place to be. Instead, get up and engage in some calming activity like reading or journaling under a dim light, okay? The second piece that can help is breathing exercises. One specific technique is called the 4-7-8 method, and it can help your nervous system promote a state of relaxation. Essentially, all you do is you breathe in for 4 seconds. This is all through your nose. You hold for 7 seconds, and then you exhale for 8 seconds. Okay? Mindfulness. If you wake up with racing thoughts, try mindfulness activities or jot down your worries on a piece of paper. It is a very effective method to get what's in your head out onto paper. And then you can revisit in the morning. But oftentimes that really helped me get to sleep. If I had all these, it would be like song lyrics sometimes. The craziest things come into your mind when you have insomnia. Just get them out from your head onto paper, and it makes a really big difference in terms of you getting back to sleep and getting those extra couple hours that otherwise you would not. Now, these strategies help me and a lot of my clients break the cycle of sleepiness without causing additional stress, right? These are all things I've used at different times in my insomnia path here to get rid of insomnia and ultimately to get to the point where I now sleep 7 to 8 hours every night with ease. Today, though, my routine is super simple. I don't have to do all of those now once your sleep gets into a state that's a little more optimal, right? So during the day, I aim to get light closer to the morning time. I stop caffeine by noon. I exhaust my body physically on a daily basis. I eat plenty of healthy carbohydrates, something I didn't talk about before, but carbohydrate restriction can really impair sleep as well. I follow the 3-2-1 rule. I use blue light blockers when I'm on my screen at night if I'm watching TV. And I have my room set up where the temperature, the darkness, and the noise level are all appropriate for me. The other thing that I didn't talk about in this video are specific health constraints that can impact your sleep. Specifically, we know gut issues and micronutrient deficiencies can influence sleep very heavily. But the solution gets way more complex than I have time to cover in this video. And if we're going to start talking about biochemistry, it's very individualized and it's very individualized to the person and what they're deficient in, right? It's not as simple as taking magnesium or melatonin and it's going to make a difference. So if you have some of these problems that are going on underlying, it can really impair your sleep. And the solution is you have to get to the root cause of them and start there. And I have a full video that breaks down the step-by-step process I help my high-performing clients find and address root causes so they can optimize their health. And if you're looking for something more comprehensive, go check that out. The link is in the description for that. It'll bring you through the whole step-by-step process A to Z. Otherwise, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope that you sleep like a baby after watching it and implement some of these changes that we talked about today. I'll catch you in the next one.